Most people think that managing a team is hard, but managing your boss is even harder, and no one teaches you how to do it. But here's the deal. Learning how to manage your manager or your manager's manager can make your life a whole lot easier. Stick with me for a few minutes and I'll give you a simple way to make your relationship with your boss or even your boss's boss way less stressful. You'll walk away with a secret leadership skill that makes work life smooth for everyone. So here's step one. Recognize that your boss is human. Yes, really. Shocking, right? When I was a student in my early 20s, I spent a year as a full-time research assistant for one of the seminary professors, an anthropologist priest. The project required us to drive for many hours around the country. And over that year, we developed a really strong personal friendship. The following year, he was appointed rector of the seminary, the boss. And I was back to being one of the regular students. Now, all the other students treated him as a distant authority figure and at times even feared him. But I knew him as a human being, and it was easy for me to talk to him as a person. This was a really valuable lesson for me, being able to see those in authority as human beings struggling to manage their job, their life, and the people around them. People tend to project a lot of their fears and worries, as well as their hopes and ambitions, onto people in authority. There's an unconscious belief that those in charge will have all the answers, all the power, and don't have the same kind of human feelings as everybody else. I mean, this is not surprising. Your brain is wired to register status, and high-status people are significant people in the world. That starts in childhood with parents, teachers, and any adult for that matter. This status mystique continues as adults with how you relate to celebrities, politicians, pastors, and of course, managers who have authority over you in the workplace. The truth is, they go home at the end of the day with the same kind of worries that you have. Family, bills, how they get on with their neighbours. Now, this projection process means that many team members see their boss as different. They find it harder to talk to them. The higher up the manager goes, the lonelier it gets for them. They have more people distancing from them and fewer peers to talk to at their own level. So their behaviour changes and people start seeing them as different. And so it goes on as can be a vicious circle. Okay, so your boss is human. Well, how does that help you relate to them or even to their boss? And that leads to step two, understanding that emotions drive behaviour. Yes, even bosses' behaviour. So when your boss is acting in a way that seems unreasonable or frustrating or just plain baffling, remember this. Behaviour is driven by emotion. They might be stressed about budgets, deadlines, pressure from their boss, or even something completely unrelated to work. You don't need to be a therapist to listen to them, and you definitely don't need to try to fix them. But you do need to understand that whatever reaction you're seeing is coming from somewhere. It's not random. And that brings us to the most powerful skill that you can use, which is step 3, acknowledge the emotion without trying to fix it or judge it. And this is where empathy comes in. And it's not the sit down and have a heart-to-heart over coffee kind of empathy. It's just a simple act of seeing what's going on for them and letting them know that you see them. You can try saying something like, that sounds really frustrating, or it looks like you've got a lot on your plate right now, or I can see why that would be stressful. These are really simple things that you can say to your boss that would let them know that you see what might be underneath their behaviour. You're not necessarily solving their problem. You're not telling them to calm down because, let's be honest, that never works. You're just acknowledging what they might be feeling. And here's the best part. This tiny shift can completely change how they respond to you. So here's a final thought. When you start seeing your boss as a human being with real pressures and real emotions, you stop feeling like you're constantly at odds with them, that they're not different from you in this regards. Just acknowledge what you see in terms of what they might be feeling, You don't have to get it right all the time, but just do it without criticism, without judgment, just saying, it seems like things are pretty tough at the moment. Seems like you're under a lot of pressure. It's not always easy, is it? And the more that you acknowledge what they're going through, even in small ways, the easier it becomes to work together.